What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. All right. Taylor, do you have your Mickey Loomis bit ready to go?
I do.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to set you up for it here. So the Saints, in case you missed it, Chris Olave definitely out Thursday with a concussion. And according to an Ian Rappaport report, Rashid Shaheed not looking good. I think the exact quote was highly doubtful. But he's dealing with a knee injury. Okay, actually, I'm not going to paraphrase here because I don't want to put words in somebody's mouth. Ian Rappaport tweeting, one to keep an eye on. Saints electric wide receiver / returner Rashid Shaheed did not practice today for a knee injury described as concerning, source said. His status going forward is to be decided. Don't love described as concerning. Don't love the fact that we've been talking for weeks now about how you only have a couple of weapons. And the names you mentioned are Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and now the team that's injured all hell anyway. You're going to be down Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, with your former leader coach who bailed on you, Sean Payton, coming back to town, looking like he might be the man to officially bury the franchise that he once made great. It is a god-awful gumbo of maddening ingredients for New Orleans Saints fans. By the way, in case you haven't really thought about what Rashid's done this year, he's leading you in targets, yards, touchdowns. He's second in the NFL in punt return average. He's fifth in yards per catch. So, yeah, not good. And now, in what can only be described as a horror movie of a Thursday night football game. Very appropriate for Thursday night football, though. But this is like the Terrifier of Saints fandom. You'll watch Spencer Rattler throw to Mason Tipton, Bub Means, and Cedric Wilson. And then who's the veteran receiver they just signed? I barely recognize the name. I'll look it up. Think about that though, dude. Mason Tipton, Dante Pettis.
Oh yeah, from old Washington boy.
Yeah, signed on the practice squad though. So I don't, Thursday I don't know his role. But Spencer. Oh, we really had hope for this season, Thought maybe if everything went well, he could make something happen. Remember when we were worried about Trevor Penning? And now you have Spencer Rattler throwing a Mason Tipton, Bub Means, and Cedric Wilson against the fifth best pass defense in the NFL. Peak Thursday night football. Peak stage for just ultra embarrassment in the dome. And it reminds me of the worst possible version of that game against Atlanta in 2018, where Drew Brees threw touchdowns to Dan Arnold, Tommy Lee Lewis, Austin Carr, and Keith Kirkwood, which then got me thinking, Drew Brees made everybody look good in that building. I don't know that Mickey Loomis has ever known how to build a team. And I'm being a little aggressive there. Obviously, there's a lot of shrewd moves in there, a couple of massive draft classes that set you up for extended periods of success. But my God, Drew Brees just made up for everything. Like, you could give Brees Mason Tipton, Bub Means, Cedric Wilson, and you'd still have offensive success. You'd still have a chance. But what it did, you could argue it created such an apathy, such a belief in self that was maybe unearned. A belief in the results that, that's because I'm trading up every year. That's because I'm doing this or that. When no, it's just because you have Drew Brees. It's the exact same thing that New England went through after Tom Brady left. Who was actually responsible for everything? And so with that in mind, Taylor already had it ready to go that, Mickey's saying, look beyond the results. So Taylor, looking beyond the results, what's going on with this Saints team?
I like to fact check Mickey Loomis because I am a big Loomis fan. Guys, he's right on this. He is right. I tried to fact check him. He's correct. We should look beyond Dennis Allen. So let's go ahead and do that, okay? I went and looked. I took this last draft class out because they're rookies. They're still up in the air.
Yeah.
I went 2013. 2013 is when he became GM and executive vice president. So when he took over everything, I didn't go all the way back. They've had 59 draft picks. This is just me. I put that they hit on 23 of them. That is a 38% clip hit rate. And look, that's including 2016 when you had Rankins, Michael Thomas, Von Bell, and David Onyemata. All four of those were hits.
Really good
then
class.
In 2017, Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, Marcus Williams, Alvin Kamara, Trey Hendrickson.
Another one of those legendary classes.
Outside of that, though, you hadn't had more than about one or two per class, and you let all the good guys walk out of the building. And you could say, okay, well, they were always deficient at receiver. Well, why didn't you sign anybody in the offseason, T-Bob? Because you're in cap hell because of the moves that Mickey Loomis has made. You've transferred money. You've did signing bonuses. You've kicked the can down the road so long because you wanted to be in win-now mode. The team is still in win-now mode, but you don't have the roster or the head coach to be in win-now mode. You have a salary cap, effective available cap space of $2.484 million. That is 29th in the league, ahead of only the Bills, Rams, and Panthers. You can't sign any free agents, at least not anybody worth a damn. You couldn't sign Justin Williams. He chose the Falcons not only because he probably thought he had a better chance to win in Atlanta, but they could probably offer him more money. You couldn't go get a receiver. You're deficient at defensive line. Yeah, you let one of the best pass rushers in Trey Hendrickson walk a few years ago. Yeah. You did that to pay Marcus Williams, who you also let walk out of the building as well. So I agree with Mickey Loomis. I don't think it starts with Dennis Allen. I think it starts with him.
Well, and that's kind of what we were getting at with Nick Underhill yesterday as we were just talking out. I was like, I mean, Nick, at a certain point, like, do you think Loomis gives Allen so much leash because, like, when he lays his head down on his pillow at night, he's like, ugh, I kind of screwed this up. Like I have not put him in a great position to succeed. Or does he not? Does he not even bother that? Does he think he's doing great? And maybe even more frustratingly, Taylor, that we could, if it would take some research to do. And I know Nick's done some of this work, so we could probably dig up some numbers that he's already done the heavy lifting on. But like that entire time too, you've been trading up at a time when nobody else trades up or trades up very rarely. You literally trade up every single draft, almost every pick. So there's an opportunity cost. There's an additional opportunity cost to all of those missed picks as well, where a lot of them have multiple picks in one way or another invested into them. So you're not just missing on one, but you're missing on players and you're giving up resources.
Well, it's the biggest misses too, T-Bob. Marcus Davenport, you give up multiple picks, 2 first-round picks to get him. He was a bust. You traded up to get Peyton Turner. He's been a bust so far. Like, your biggest misses are the ones you've traded up for.
Well, but that's because the Saints' theory is nobody else knows what they're talking about. Trading back doesn't matter. You scout, you find a player you're obsessed with, and you trade up and get him. Which in the later rounds, I'm a bit more okay with, right? Like, absolutely. I mean, it's still, I hate how much the Saints do it because you're kind of ruining your diamond in the rough potential. But if you trade up in the first round, like, you got to get it right. You just do. Otherwise, you set the franchise back years. And they've done it too many times. Too many times. So looking beyond the results, Mickey, you're right. It's the front office's fault in a lot of ways. And you have to prove that Drew Brees wasn't just the one making everything work in that building for so long. Because the more data we get, the more it feels that way. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.